Before you spend $1,100 on your next gaming setup, watch this. Today, we're putting the PS5 Pro against a gaming PC at the exact same price. And trust me, the result isn't what most people expect. If you have around $1,100 to spend, this is probably the biggest gaming decision you'll make. Should you buy Sony's most powerful console or build a gaming PC for the same money? Now, before the console warriors and PC fanboys start a civil war in the comments, let's get one thing straight. Neither one is objectively better. They're built for completely different people. So, today we'll compare performance, graphics, upgradability, game prices, and long-term value to answer one simple question. Which one should you actually buy? Round 1. The real budget. Let's start with your wallet, because this is where people lie to themselves the most. They see the price on the box and think that is the final cost. It is not. As of July 2026, the PS5 Pro cost $899.99 in the United States. Sounds reasonable for the strongest PlayStation, until you remember the console does not come fully complete. If you want to use physical games, you need the disc drive, and that is another $79.99. If you want the official vertical stand, add $29.99. And if you want online multiplayer for most paid games, PlayStation Plus Essential is $79.99 per year. Congratulations, you just spent $900 to discover the disc drive is sold separately. Sony basically said, trust me bro, and somehow the stand got its own invoice. Add all that up and the complete setup is around $1,090 before tax. Yes, the disc drive and stand are optional, and free-to-play games do not need PS Plus, but this is the realistic PlayStation setup most people should compare. Now the PC. With the same budget in the US, if you catch the right deals, you can build something serious. A Ryzen 5 7500X 3D and B850 motherboard bundle around $350 to $400. An RTX 5060 Ti 8GB around $360 to $400, plus a 2TB NVMe SSD, power supply, case, cooler, and RAM if the bundle does not include it. You end up around $1,080 to $1,120 before tax, without peripherals and without Windows. So at the start, it is almost a tie. The PS5 Pro gives you the controller and the couch-ready experience. The PC turns the same money into upgradable hardware and does not charge you for online play. For value, the PC takes it. Point for the gaming PC. Round 2. The user experience. Now, be honest with yourself, because this is where the right answer changes depending on the person. What kind of gamer are you? The PS5 Pro is for the person who gets home tired, sits on the couch, grabs the controller, presses one button, and starts playing. No drivers. No Windows Update at the worst moment. No graphics menu where you spend 20 minutes deciding if shadows should be ultra or high. The game just works because it was optimized for that exact box. The PC is the opposite. It gives you freedom. Want more FPS? Lower the shadows, kill motion blur, and push 120 frames. Want a cinematic story game? Turn up the settings, activate ray tracing, and enjoy. But freedom has a price. Sometimes drivers act weird. Sometimes Windows updates something you did not ask for. Sometimes a game crashes just because today is apparently the day. It is not constant, but it happens. A PC is like a modified car. Faster, more flexible, more personal, but you need to understand a little bit of what is under the hood. If you want zero complications, the PS5 Pro wins this round. Comfort is not a small thing. Point for the PS5 Pro. Round 3. Power and technology. Now let's talk about the pretty stuff. Resolution, FPS, ray tracing, and all the magic words brands use to make us spend money. The PS5 Pro promises 4K and even 120 FPS in certain games, but do not get confused. That does not mean every game gives you native 4K, ray tracing, and high frame rate at the same time. The key technology is PSSR, PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. In normal human language, it is AI upscaling. The game renders at a lower internal resolution, then the console reconstructs the image so it looks close to 4K. And honestly, it works. In 2026, Sony started rolling out an upgraded PSSR, and the image can look sharper and more stable than before. For a closed console under your TV, it is impressive. But on the PC side, the RTX 5060 Ti has DLSS 4.5 with frame generation. That means it can upscale the image and also generate extra extra frames for smoother motion. It is not magic, because latency still matters and generated frames do not replace a strong real frame rate, but when it works, it looks beautiful. The PC also gives you upgrades later. More storage, more RAM, a stronger GPU, a better CPU. That said, I am not selling smoke. An RTX 5060 Ti with 8 GB of VRAM has limits. In heavy games, you may need to lower textures or ray tracing. The PS5 Pro can absolutely fight back because developers tune games for one fixed machine. Still, because of DLSS, settings control, higher FPS options, and future upgrades, the PC wins power and technology. Point for the gaming PC. Round 4. GTA 6 and exclusives. Now the fight gets spicy because we need to talk about GTA 6. Rockstar confirmed GTA 6 for November 19th, 2026 on PS5 and Xbox Series X and Series S. There is no PC release date announced, so if you play only on PC, you may be watching gameplay on YouTube, eating spoilers on TikTok, and crying next to your RGB keyboard while console players are already in Vice City. PC players are going to refresh Rockstar's website so many times, Chrome will start charging them rent. And it is not only GTA. Marvel's Wolverine launches on PS5 on September 15th, 2026, with no PC version announced. Death Stranding 2 is not a locked PlayStation example anymore because it arrived on PC in March 2026, and Sony keeps moving more games over time. But launch windows still matter. PC has its own world too. League of Legends, Valorant, Counter-Strike, strategy games, simulators, survival games, thousands of indies. But for the 2026 calendar, if you need GTA 6 Day 1 and Sony exclusives, PlayStation wins. Point for the PS5 Pro. Round 5. Long-term economy. Now let's return to money, because this is where the console starts bleeding slowly. On PlayStation, new AAA games are usually $70. Special editions cost even more, and older games can stay expensive for way too long. Sales exist, of course, but the ecosystem is still more closed. And then comes paid online. PlayStation Plus Essential is $79.99 per year for most paid multiplayer games. Over 5 years, that is almost $400. That is not pocket change. That is basically another graphics card. On PC, online multiplayer is free. Steam does not charge you a membership to play with your friends. Epic does not charge you either. Then you have Steam sales, Epic giveaways, multiple stores competing, bundles, refunds, and a much bigger used code and discount ecosystem. So yes, the PC can cost the same at the beginning, but over 3 to 5 years, it can save you hundreds of dollars in games and services. The PS5 Pro only stays cheap if you buy very few games, wait for sales, and avoid paid multiplayer. Point for the gaming PC. Round 6. Versatility. Finally, what else can these machines do? The PS5 Pro is powerful, but it is still a console. You play games, watch Netflix, YouTube, and streaming apps. That is basically it. If you need to study, work, edit photos, write documents, make presentations, or create content, you need another device. A gaming PC is different. For around $1,100, you get a gaming machine and a real work tool. You can study, use Excel, or build a skill that might actually make you money. You also get multitasking, Discord on one screen, the game on another, Spotify in the background, and a browser with 50 tabs open for absolutely no good reason. And then there are mods. Minecraft, Cyberpunk, GTA. On PC, games can become completely different experiences. Here, the PC wins easily. It is not just entertainment. It is a console plus a workstation. Point for the gaming PC. So, which one should you buy? By points, the gaming PC wins 4-2. It wins value, technology, long-term economy, and versatility. The PS5 Pro wins comfort and the 2026 exclusive factor. Buy the PS5 Pro if you want to turn it on and play with zero drama. If your friends are on PlayStation. If you want GTA 6 on launch day, Marvel's Wolverine, and a clean living room setup. For that person, the PS5 Pro is powerful, simple, and honestly, very comfortable. Build the gaming PC if you want free online, cheaper games, more settings, more FPS options, mods, upgrades, and a machine that can also help you study, work, create content, or make money. For that person, a $1,100 gaming PC is the better long-term investment. So yes, on the scoreboard, the PC wins. But in real life, the best purchase depends on your patience, your friends, and what you actually need. Personally, I am team PC, but I get it. The comfort of PlayStation is hard to beat. Basically, if you want peace, buy the PlayStation. If you want freedom, build the PC. If you want both, congratulations, your wallet is about to file a restraining order. If this video saved your wallet from a bad purchase, leave a like, subscribe, and comment, are you team PlayStation or team gaming PC? And if you've decided a gaming PC is the way to go, check out my video on the best gaming laptops you can buy in 2026. But if you're still wondering whether a gaming laptop or a desktop PC is the better choice, I've got that comparison for you as well. Both videos are on your screen right now. Bye-bye.